some that is overlooked.
So on page, I thought we, on page 4, paragraph 3, Mr. Tracy Jackson increase in salary. I thought the people that we gave an increase, we paid them all back to January, retroactive back to January 1st. But here, in Mr. Jackson, they don't have it. They said we
You
didn't
didn't put that in there, but I think you're correct, sir.
Nah,
I think you're right.
I know I'm right.
But
And
they
so-
ain't got it printed in there.
Yeah, it ain't in there. I called back up here when I noticed, and they said that it wasn't in the on the recorder. And I said, I know we
I
told.
thought I remember that conversation.
Yeah, because we did everybody retroactive as of January 1st.
It was in that first motion.
Well, you're wanting to make that correction.
Correct. I want that correct because we can't read that's what that is. That's correction there.
All right, any more correction? Got a motion to approve as with the correction necessary. How you vote? Yes.
Yes.
I abstained since I wasn't here.
Requisitions.
Is anybody aware of the high back chair for $126, what that is? Or the,
Office Depot,
yeah, what, did one of them break or something?
that's sort of on
This is extension office. Yeah, did one of the chairs they have, did it break? Does anybody know anything about that?
How about that?
Ramona's chair was only $69.
Well, I'm not talking about the Ramones, it's only $69, huh?
Yeah.
Nobody said.
I think that's for that what new extension gentleman we have over there. His chair don't have a large backlight. I don't know.
It was good for the previous, county agent, right?
Is it in their budget? Is it in their budget? If it's in their budget. If it's in the budget, if they don't have the money in the budget for it, then got them. I don't have a copy of my budget here. I figured the first of January, they did the second. February, I figured they ain't spent their budget, what they budget was, what they budget?
I don't recall what it was for office supplies.
Yeah.
I'd have to pull that from the system.
See what's in their budget.
What's wrong with the old chair? Do you anybody, like you said,
He
anybody
said
know?
it didn't go up high enough.
I don't know, but I just wondered, cause the chair's in there, you know. I just wondered where they, how back or what?
In fact, I didn't really notice either.
We'll check it out.
That's
and
for the
see.
county agent itself.
Must be for the.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve all requests except the one from the extension service and ask for more information on that, high back
All
chair.
right, chair.
I'll second that motion, please. Any discussion of it? All right, how you wanna vote on it? Yes.
Yes.
No. Everybody vote yes? Hmm?
Yeah, you gonna look into it? Look into it, see what it is.
Yeah, tell us something about it, what we need.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Malcolm.
I have two additions to the business, you want those now?
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Campbell.
All right, I will move that we add two items to the business, Board of Elections appointment, Commissioners voting resolution.
Board
Board of Elections appointment, and Commissioners voting resolution. which there's a copy there in front of everyone.
All right, got a motion, got a second?
Second,
Second.
Chairman. Second,
Okay.
Chairman.
Any discussion?
Chairman, this is simply added to the
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
I suppose there'll be some discussion that comes up.
No, okay. All right, how you vote? Yes.
Yeah.
I'd also like to add a item to the business agenda, and that is the naming of a road into the industrial park.
Name of what now?
Naming of the road into the industrial park.
Naming of a road,
Mm-hmm.
industrial park. All right, got a second to that motion?
Second.
Got a second. Any more discussion to that? All right, yes. Nobody? Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be on it for just a few minutes, about the tax assessor's office.
And we get on to the business part of it? or
Yeah.
not?
Appointment part of business.
Oh,
It's gonna be employment of personnel.
probably be business part, I reckon. All right, somebody wanna make a motion to?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a second? I'll second. How you vote? Yes. Okay.
Okay, I have a couple of issues. Budget adjustment to the calendar year system.
Budget adjustment.
To calendar year.
Okay, got a second on this?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, how you vote? Yes. All right,
And,
anything else?
Yes,
I wanna have
adjust-
one. Okay, go ahead, sir.
adjustment, to our tax collection system, tax adjustment for past issues.
Okay. Tax collection.
Adjustment, tax adjustment from years past.
All right, got a second on this?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, how you vote? Yes.
Okay. Purchase of soil purchases.
Okay, got a second on this?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
How you vote? Yes. Mr. Floyd, don't you wanna, ain't none of my business, but remember that application on this permit,
Oh.
building permit?
Yeah, we need to add that too. Building permit application,
You free?
yes.
Got a second?
Second.
Oh, okay.
All right, how you vote? Yes. All right. Anything else?
Okay, one other issue. It seems to have drifted off my notes and off my mind. Oh yeah, I had an appointment, I think, on the health board. Is that so?
Yeah.
It's on here.
No, yeah, I got an appointment. The board of commission got an appointment. I had about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't find nobody. We need to put somebody on it.
That's my point. I think mine is the one that's like it.
No, we just have one appointment. It's kind of wide, it really.
I know it.
It don't matter to me.
It's already on here, Mr. Bryant.
Okay.
What is this time sheet for?
The request from Eddie Knight,
Huh?
he resigned from the sheriff's office, wants to cash in his comp time.
ain't got nothing on him.
It's over on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
47 hours.
No, no, is it on the agenda?
No, it's not on there. They just brought it up and gave it to Francis.
That's what I was talking about.
She made me a copy, and I just scribbled them the hours.
Y'all wanna put this on there?
I thought we'd already decided that a long time ago.
We decided 2 or 3 times, yeah.
I thought we had.
Well, we gonna hold on to it this time. No comp time, we ain't paying no comp time, we ain't gonna open up that CAG one.
He resigned, didn't
They realize.
Yeah, but he had ample time to take the comp time, give him a 15 day
All
notice or
department
more.
heads know, another comp time.
They were well aware of that.
And by the way, the math don't work on this anyway. That's more math.
Put it on the agenda for discussion, and, also for our attorneys. Personnel,
You
yeah,
wanna put it on there?
yeah, you're gonna have to discuss it.
All right,
I'll
Mr. Long got a motion to put it on there for discussion. Hey, Mr. Einstein, I'm sorry.
And keep it on there so that we go and,
Somebody want to second it?
I second it.
Mr. Ford,
All right. Vote yes to add it to the agenda. We can talk about it, I reckon, but we done, I agree with y'all, we done decided this. I'll vote.
I'm going to abstain because, we've been over this many, many times.
Soon we do one, then here come the rest of
Exactly
them.
right. I don't think
And we ain't budget for it, we ain't have budget for no comp time.
We sure haven't.
Didn't need our
Everybody
budget for
knows
it. If they ain't in the budget, can we
We
do it?
voted not to pay it, huh?
Yes, we
Well,
did.
I'm fine, that's it.
So if you don't have it on the agenda, no action, right?
Well, Mr. Bond,
They can put it on their agenda, they can put it on their
yeah,
agenda.
they just put it on there, we'll talk about it. All right, y'all ready?
Did you?
I'm gonna
Vote
stay,
on
Go
Mr.
take
Chairman.
the vote, Mr. Chairman.
I thought I did.
Nah,
How you
I'm
vote?
I think
Yeah.
you've already voted for it, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, we did, I called for it.
I voted for it.
I think it's on there.
On the agenda, but put it after personnel session, after the session with the
Put
attorney.
that last one out to the executive session.
Yeah, exactly, so that's what I'm trying to say.
All
I
right.
told you all, I'm here, but I'm not here at all.
I understand that, you've been hanging around over here on that place.
What, hey, what you talking
That's
about?
over here on the middle seat.
All right.
You gotta put me in a straight jacket, you gonna sit there.
Mr. Bryant. Young lady, brother, how you doing?
Good evening, how y'all doing?
All right, how you?
I know y'all trying to see me, but, yeah, we need to get this straight now. I'm back again in part 2 with the fire department. You know, last meeting, I made the recommendation of trying to change the fire department and put a paid firefighter at 2 or however many stations y'all choose, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. I want to see it on paper, so I got it on paper, and I want to apologize, because I had Mr. Robert Davidson from Allentown, he's the mayor of the fire chief down there. He's gonna come with me tonight, but he had a meeting come up. And he has, he did write me a letter showing they use this same program for the fire department. I got a copy of everybody on that too, but just, like I said last week, we got, supposed to have a budget for 4 fire chiefs for every district. And I think we can take that same money and put one there Monday through Friday. And I mean, it's gonna be a little different. I think the math's on here, maybe $800 difference of what you're gonna get. And that would be, I'm doing the calculation for 2.
I'm going to ask you something you may not know the answer to. I certainly don't. Do most fires occur at night or during the day?
Most times at the day. So I said,
Do you
the
know that,
aquaponics
or
home.
you just got a feeling for it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
On the stats I had from, they may be 2 years old now. It was just after that night.
But-
At that current time, it was at night.
So it's more at night, yeah.
Well, it was more at day then.
More
It
day.
might be changing now, I'm not sure, but about 2 years ago, the paperwork I seen.
Was it close or was it pretty good,
It was-
good spread?
Good spread. Like I said, the average person is out working during the day, and once the fire starts, you're not there to control it. And at night, the person may be there and they can try to sting themselves.
Most of them occur early in the morning, though.
Yeah,
Right.
people go out.
People go out cooking breakfast or either ironing. This is the top of the
I
letter.
heard that
That,
recently.
I
Mr.
read that someplace.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Well, an insurance stating that you this fire plan trying to oppose for the county now. got $20,000 for each district, that's $5,000. You take your, two, making $80 a day. That math came up, if I'm correct on it, should be about $20,800, $800 different. Once you're paying 4 or 5 cheaper, we only have one.
What about Saturday and Sunday? You ain't gonna find no fire on Saturday and Sunday.
We, see, the volunteers are off on Saturday and Sunday. Most
This
of
won't be a volunteer, you pay them $80 a day.
we still can have, you still can have one fireman to put the house out by itself. You still got to depend on volunteers to show up. And see, your average person is off on Saturday and Sunday, so that way you have a bigger turnout on Saturday and Sunday than you would on a Monday through Friday.
This fellow now time no work on Saturday and Sunday.
He do his Thursday Tuesday through Saturday, because he went back on his call log and see what days he had on fire. Sunday and Monday was his days that they didn't. Well, to our call log, we have ours Monday through Friday. But, and if y'all want to change that, that's fine too. The days don't matter. How y'all want to do the days is fine.
What hours do you consider a day in this case?
We're going to do Monday through Friday. We're going to do 9 to 5.
8 hours.
Mhm.
Are the volunteers off during that period of time so that they can?
Some of them are, like they just,
Do we have enough of them off?
well, that's why the contract part come in. He gets his $5 contract at 1099. Therefore, he can go get firefighters from any county, just like Macon. If we running short, we can go to Macon and pull those guys, because they're already trained and certified. All you're going to do is
You
give them,
guys from Macon, y'all don't want to work for that $10 an hour, do
you'd be surprised.
you? Yeah, I would be
You'd be
surprised.
surprised. And Allentown already has said they would love to come in and fill in the days that it's available for that day. You know, and I know it's not on it, but he gives those guys a calendar every month. Like it's February now, he'll give them a calendar of March, and those guys can write in the days they're available to work. Then once the calendar turn back in, he'll make special calls and fill in days that are not open. But according to him, he never had that problem. His days already filled in, guys are writing days they can work.
Where this farmer gonna be based at?
I definitely want one in Station 2 Academy. That's, to me, that's a central location. You got one, he can hit 16, 96, get around. And he recommends we rotate them out. Rotate them out, you can get certain things done at that station. Suppose you do always at 2, suppose he at 4, at District 4, this day, or District 1, District 3, other way you can get things done at stations, clean the truck, maintaining the
How many stations do you intend to rotate it among?
well, he recommends going on call volume. We just have to see what call volume, what at this time frame, if Station 1 sees the high demand of call, keep one there. Station 4 sees high demand of call, we keep one there. Like I said, but it's up, you decide, you might want to man every station, every 4 stations, but you know, you see what the cost gonna cost.
Yeah, but I mean, if you rotated between each station as opposed to giving preference to one.
If you gonna rotate them, I'd say go to all of them.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think it's ever gonna fly without going on.
I think we need to.
I'm not saying yea or nay, I'm just saying I don't think it'll fly without giving equal representation to each district.
At least 2 weeks.
And all things, by the way.
Right, I'm saying.
Who put the language of this together?
Me and Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's about a year old,
Yeah.
probably about 6 or 7.
He did the language to it, didn't he?
I don't follow him, he just, we kinda,
No, it's no
he
problem.
kinda told me, I did the typing on it, I typed that up.
I know you typed it, but he did the scratch out, the layout.
Yeah, he gave me a layout.
I can tell that due to the language. It's an old phrase in here. A whole better, sir. A long time since I've seen that kind of language.
Has this been discussed with the volunteers that are currently
It has.
working in the county? What is their feeling on it?
They think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, give or take, you do have a few of them that they think it won't be fair, everybody will get a chance to work, but the majority of them said that they're for it.
I noticed it said that people would be able to volunteer or say when they would be available. And someone that's basically out of, say, period
Oh, yeah.
right now.
Yeah, he told me that,
Here at
too.
the station.
Yeah.
Here at District 2, is that correct?
Right, but like I said, I just said they wanna fairly rotate them out, so, I mean, we can put that in place too, there's no problem to rotate them out to every station.
Yeah, and I was just using that as an example, but you wouldn't be restricted to a firehouse
No,
based on where you already
right,
per se volunteer.
Right,
Now, they
right.
go everywhere, I know
Right.
that already, but still, they're somewhat assigned to a
Right.
particular firehouse in most cases.
correct.
That rescue vehicle be, mainly out to, out there by the academy. That's where they keep that rescue vehicle at.
At the shop, you mean?
They don't keep it at the shop, do they?
Huh?
Station 2.
They keep it at fire. Yeah, they keep it at the fire station over there.
That what it is?
Well, in the past, it's been rotated around, so.
It has been moved back and forth from 2 to 4, but we have the quick response truck at 4 now, the rescue at station 2, just because 2 is in such locations, they can get to a lot of those spots faster.
Because what the
Well,
sheriff.
2 is out of Captain
Can't-
Park,
can't-
that's where the rescue truck is.
That's because of 16 going through there, you have most accidents on 16, so it was just a quick response time from putting it there.
Well, that certainly makes sense, but on the other hand, the residents, the most need for it among residents of Twiggs County wouldn't be on 16.
Right, you will still, if a
Those
guy
are
stays,
people driving through mostly.
right, if you still put a guy at station 2, at least he's already there, he might still can be a guy from station 4, you gotta get a volunteer to come from station 4, to go to station 4, get in a truck and go where he need to go. That guy from station 2 is probably halfway there, if not there by then.
Why don't we study over this thing and get back to it?
I think we need to, and I think you need to compliment me for putting it together, because, with, no full-time firemen, limited budget, you got an almost impossible job to figure something that will work.
I really,
Just about
I
impossible.
think myself, he was gonna be here tonight, but a Tony called him and he had a meeting with a Tony tonight. So, but he
I
told me
think we
earlier.
do need to study this a little bit. That's just one person's,
Yes.
2 people, I guess.
It's just
Somebody
on,
make a motion.
what happened if the 10,400 a year per fireman?
That would be the
That-
ones
that-
that are working, right?
Right.
Would that would be for how many firemen?
That 10-4 is for one fireman for a whole year.
So what now?
That 10-4 is for one fireman a whole year.
Okay.
Not saying it's one person, but it'll pay somebody Monday through Friday for the whole year.
The
It's
position.
right,
yeah,
position,
picked
right.
up a file.
Yeah.
And so, cause we had what, $20,000 for the budget for 4 fire chiefs. And this 10,400 is for one person.
One person, one position. So if you did 2 positions, that'd be $20,800. $800 over that budget that you.
Well, see, what I was looking at, if we, well, maybe next year budget, that we can have one at each, that ain't but $20,000, that ain't but $40,000, we already got 20 in there. And so if we look at 2 more, that'd be just another, that'd be $40,000. So that we have one at every fire station.
You gonna cut the $20,000 on the chiefs?
Mhm.
Yeah, we wouldn't
We
need
gonna
it
do it,
then.
chief.
You gonna need the chief?
We wouldn't need it then, see, and that way we
We
can
will.
have peoples at the fire
We will
station
still have
at
chiefs,
all
but they won't
times.
get paid. You gotta still have a chief at that station to make sure everything is in order, but he won't be paid anymore. Just going back to the old day, we were volunteering, we already voted a chief in. You still had that voted in chief at the station, but it won't be no pay involved. But that chief will still be able to decide to make his own money when he decides to work what they wanna work.
Among the,
Let's study about this. Somebody make a motion to that.
so cool, Mr. Chairman.
I'll say.
Okay.
Then when we need to get back with him with an answer.
Maybe within, I wanna put, let's just talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I think by the next meeting, we should know something. I don't know about the rest of them, there's 5 people on board here, but I'm just saying I will be ready by the next meeting.
That'll be fine.
But that's just one person.
Just let you guys know, I
That's
say,
it, man, that makes fine.
Valentine's agreed to fill-in days, and I have a bunch of Macon County firefighters that they be got fill-in days. So I don't think it'll be a problem filling days in.
Well, they have an extensive training program up there. That Marcus, young man, is still with y'all, isn't he?
Correct.
Okay. And then what was the other guy's name? Young fella. Made a presentation about a year or so ago.
Oh, that was, put the gym down there on, granddaddy, daddy is a carpenter. What his name?
Mim? Mim?
What that man name?
Bryant,
Yes.
not, black guy,
Yeah,
down yonder, on, Doc Little place,
yeah, he used contract with he's a carpenter. His son,
Sean,
when the one that made the lieutenant.
Sean, ain't Bryant?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, he made.
What is
made.
daddy name? I keep
I
thinking,
can't-
I'm looking at him, I'm looking
yeah,
dead at him, I
I
can't
can't
say
think
his
his
name.
name. Mr. Hall, Willie Hall.
Weatherhawk,
Willie
that's
Hall.
his granddaddy.
Yeah.
That's the one came in and made that presentation to us.
Sean Hart, not Bryant, Sean.
You all, they both there with you now? You still have both of them with
You
you?
make it, yes, sir.
Yeah. Cause that Hart guy, he's a lieutenant now. Yeah, he made
he's a-
lieutenant.
Yeah.
He made lieutenant. Yo, did.
One other question I know that you've got on here, maybe even lower insurance.
Yes, because you have a paid staff member more available.
Okay, but I do know that, if you have a fire, you've got to have a certain number to respond to that fire within a certain period of time.
Four members, you'll have 4 members.
So having 2 available will help that equation, so that
Work
you're
out.
more likely to have the number you need.
Yeah, 2 available. I'm
Qualified.
pretty sure we can get 2 more volunteers to show up. So say that would definitely. Allentown, they went, changed their rating. I think he got a 4 this year. They came out.
4 or 5,
4 or 5. Yeah, just got to reevaluate again, and they shouldn't went from
Really help
seven
Well, that's
to
only
4.
for people who are within 5 miles by road of the fire station, right?
Well, the
Not
one, the
necessarily.
fire station might get a lower rating, but that would go for the whole county.
Yeah, but that 6
The
miles.
response time is the key to it.
Yes, that's the key response time.
I thought that the fire rating had to do, among other things, with the mileage from the fire station.
That's where you get
true
your
for, like I said,
rates
for certain residents in that circle.
Is that
They
where-
might
Where I
get
live, we're a 9.
It really drops it down within 6 miles, Mr. Watson.
You within
Within
that
that
5-mile
state.
radius,
Yeah.
that would even, you might, if I get a 6 now with this new system, you might even get a 5 because you're in that, you had
In
that
that-
same average coverage with firefighters, and plus you that close to the
I'm
place.
not within their guidelines.
Oh, well, you
Nor are
still-
a lot of people.
You go with the, we changed, we are 8 now, we went till 6, you benefit from that, giving 6.
Oh, we're a 9.
Some parts of the county are 8 because of the water
I'm
system.
a 8.
Well, we don't have water, so
When
we're
you,
a
when
9.
you do that water system, you might go to
Most
the 8.
boys count as 10.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do we get to be a 9 then? We got nothing.
Some insurance, if you got a
Only
fire
5
hydrant,
miles, won't be no truck in.
well, see, but some insurance got this here, mine dropped to a 7, is because I had a fire hydrant right at my door. And
Yeah, that
clo-
makes a lot of
close the
sense.
fire.
Within 150 people in your
Yeah,
house.
close the fire, but it was
Mr.
dropped.
Byrne, how did you get, you on the fire department, how did you get a fire hydrant right at your door?
That was in 1976.
Well, I don't care
The city
about
one put, the city one gonna put it there.
Something's going on.
Got a long floor.
Mr. Bryant, you don't believe in commercials?
You don't put no believe in miracles. Even just a
All we need, we
miracle.
got a water bucket full of
Water,
water.
but that's all we got, pull it out of the way.
Well,
It's been raining in the morning, we can't throw it.
See what happened was that the county put those hydrants there.
I remember, I was
Yeah,
just carrying on.
yeah, the
with
county put them hydrants there, all down through Spring Valley, you know, within the county, cause they run the water system down there, so that way by putting that hydrant right there and different, and so, everybody down that way got a cut in their insurance because of those fire hydrants.
Got
Mr.
no fire,
Bryant,
that's right.
just make his day. Forget facts and just tell him it's cause you connected.
All right, we got a motion on it.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a motion. How you vote? Put it off for 2 weeks.
okay.
yes.
So,
Until the next meeting.
Whenever that is.
March, did you?
Probably more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, by March, the 3rd.
Well, thank you.
But thank you for putting this
I
together.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the Mercer, this is a order confirmation that the AD has been ordered. We got it for $11.95, like I said, with the taxes in. So if you see that top of it, it has been in, he said about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, we probably each need to see one.
We should have that in.
It's gonna be 18 degrees morning, and the 3rd of morning, all them trucks crank.
All right.
All of them are cranked, they're cranked tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate it.
You are?
Okay,
Mr.
business,
Uh,
Board of Health form. What you got, Mr. Bond? You said you had one?
Yes, but I have to do a little checking. I wanna hold that over to the next meeting and we'll carry that over.
Anybody got nothing?
not on Board of Health, I have one on, Board of Elections.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna get to that, let's,
Yeah.
all right.
L.M.I application.
Did, I got a call, I guess some of the rest of you did, maybe everybody, from, road superintendent, said he was getting up a list of candidates for the L.M.I, and I gave him some, and I'm sure y'all did too, so has he turned in a list yet?
No, sir.
He's supposed to be up tonight, isn't he?
He
No,
said
we
he would
did
be
that
here
fellow told me
tonight.
over the phone to give it Friday, but Bud told me today on the phone
Uh-huh.
that he was gonna go in and send it to him.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. We gotta put it together. Come and send it to him.
You give him some road, name of the road, then,
No, that's what I'm saying. We gotta discuss that.
well, he said he was gonna get it together and he would have it there before Friday, what he told me.
Well, I'll get to him tomorrow then.
Yeah, after the way he talked, I thought he done talked to him about it.
Well, he did,
he
but
told me.
my last conference with him that he was gonna be here tonight.
He called me and asked me, and I told him I didn't give him, that's up to y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all give him the names of the roads you want. and go
Well, he
from
does
there.
not have enough money to stretch, I'll tell you that much.
No,
Well, that fellow from the state said we had enough maybe to do 3 point something miles.
yeah.
Well,
But we're
with
gonna have to
with
pay
20%,
81,000 with it.
20% match, or whatever it was, yeah.
But I had Buller Road on mine and.
My first one was,
Oh, Mr. Bryant.
Mhm.
He told me you had bullet in it.
And Ball Church Road on mine.
Have him check that farm. Like they did
Yeah, up
before.
on that, up
Yeah.
on there.
When I went across,
Yeah.
it's been that way for about 2 months.
And so that's what I put down there, I put Buller Road and Ball Church Road on there.
And I think you put, then you put, Miss Florida, I believe he said, what's the name of, Long Street?
Mr. Chairman, I really wanna get into some, we ain't discussing nothing about no dirt road. I really wanna get in some dirt road, all priority paving on dirt road. When we start getting this,
Yeah.
We get it together, that's fine, whatever.
I definitely wanna
we're
get it.
gonna need
think
to
it
set
would
us up
be-
a formula for that. too.
Yeah, we gotta set up a
Who
farm
gets
for
what?
that, yeah.
And I think we ought to be able to do it, at our next meeting.
We need to have we have to have a call meeting, get this in, get these dirt road on priority, all
Well,
priority
tell
dirt
Bud,
road.
let him say, and when they approve it, then we'll sit down and y'all figure out which road y'all want.
Well,
But
see,
see, we
that's
ain't
a
got to
different
worry about,
program.
we ain't got to worry about those, I'm
No,
talking
they-
about all private dirt road, all priority.
You're talking about the splosh.
Yeah, we talking about the splotch, I'm talking
Oh,
about the
yeah,
splotch.
yeah,
I'm talking about the
okay,
splotch.
yeah, I
You
agree
determine
with
the
you.
formula
Yeah.
we're gonna use for sharing
Yeah, we
that
definitely got to
money.
get back into that, because we would pay, it might not be a big old beautiful road, but it got a lot of people out the mud on them off priority road, cause you didn't have to have no 80 feet, 60 feet right away, you know, no state specification.
Well, the road was done the state specification, but like you said, right of ways were done in a different manner. We just speeded along. Let's put that on the agenda for next Tuesday, because by that time, we ought to have
You
something.
mean
my
next
opinion.
meeting,
Yes,
No stuff supposed to come in, started coming in, that money's supposed to start coming in March.
along with that,
They
we-
told me March, April,
Well,
what they
it
said.
doesn't
Now, I
end
don't know which
until
one.
January, and so it'll be pretty fast to be in any time, I think, before April.
Okay.
but
They
we'll get a
told me
number.
March, April.
We will get a number though.
So we need to, after we done approved to set that fund up down here in the bank.
Jefferson.
Bank right over here.
Then the bank
Is
down
that set
here.
up, Garner, for them to do electronic transfer or what?
We've got the paperwork sent to them whenever it's.
So that's not set up yet?
The account is not set up yet until the funds start or ready to come in.
We can open an account with no funds, or $1. We need that account opened up, and if they
Yeah.
gonna do
Go ahead and
electronic
set it up.
transfer, that needs
Yeah.
to be set up.
We need to check and see, like, maybe the tax
Just gotta fill out
assessor.
the paperwork.
I can't imagine that
You got
bank
Endeavor
turned down a
Star,
account
the
of that
board,
size
all those
on
people.
technicality,
We
wants
trying
the
to
money
get-
in there first. I don't think you'll have
What
that
y'all,
problem.
but have y'all ever decided about opening up an account down there?
Yeah,
We already have.
I went
Oh.
today, we went today and I signed the papers, all we gotta wait now is the signatures and she's going over that, money
Good.
that y'all give us, going in the bank.
Okay.
And with SunTrust, we still keep the savings account where it's at, but we going over there as soon as we get the paperwork ready and she go over there and do it. And
I'm glad to hear that, 'cause
Yeah.
we're
we
gonna be
should
signing
support local
signature
banks.
card and they're gonna be supporting,
Yeah,
and they waived our fee
Okay.
to go in, so we don't have to pay the $300, you gotta have at least $300.
Yeah.
They waived that fee, we got more than that.
Considering how much money they're likely to get, I can't imagine standing pat on that requiring a certain amount.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
I can't
that's true.
imagine that.
They're working with, they gonna work with everybody, they're eager to get them.
If they don't, there's 95 other banks that won't do that.
All right, Mr. Bryant, what you got on Mr. J.M.A. and Mr.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to hire Mr. J.M.A. as a mechanic at $13 an hour, and Ms. Bernard Hyde with CDL license for $10 an hour. That's my motion.
And talk to Bud about it.
Wait a minute, I'll second for discussion.
Yes, I have made, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Bud mentioned it to you.
He mentioned to me about Jay not
I
too
know,
long ago.
but, well, see, I know he mentioned it to you, and because you glad both me, you had asked me, had I talked with him, and I told you who you talking about. And so now, we in discussion, so that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Should we discuss that in executive session, since the personnel, and then vote on it out here?
I'll take that too.
I think we should.
Okay, I'll take that too. Well, since I already made the motion, I withdraw my motion.
Well, I'll withdraw my second.
Yeah, and then we'll do it in personnel.
We can't hire them, or.
No, we had to make the motion, but we can do it
discuss
after that. That's what you want to
Yeah,
do?
well, we'll do that, we'll do, see what can we do it, because we need, we said we going into, we'll discuss that.
Discuss it in
We
executive
need
session.
to. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the next thing would be,
Resolution,
Mr. Chairman, I move, I've already talked with this individual, and they said they were served, that we appoint Gene N. Brooks, spelled with a G, to that position, to that district, or the appointment of Board of Elections.
That's a vacancy there.
Yes.
You
Second,
filling a
Mr. Chairman.
vacancy. Okay.
Was that Gene and Brooks?
Yes, spelled with a G.
second.
Got a second? Any more discussion? How you vote? Yep.
Gardner, I'll give you the address before we leave tonight. And what else? Mr. Chairman, I believe at the same time that was added was a resolution for voting, and I don't have a copy, I gave mine to to our attorney here. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask, I asked the attorney to read it.
This is a resolution proposed. Mr. Mercer, I don't have a number because sequentially I don't know what number you all have next, but that I'll leave to the clerk's office. Entitled Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Twiggs County, Georgia, establishing the minimum number of votes necessary for the commission to pass an order or decree. Whereas the 1898 session laws for Twiggs County clearly stated that 3 members of the Board of Commissioners, quote, shall constitute a quorum. The concurrence of 3 shall be necessary to pass any order or decree, close quote. Whereas the 1923 session laws for Twiggs County, which repealed the 1898 session laws, are not clear as to whether a concurrence of 3 or more members of the Board of Commissioners is required to pass an order or decree, or if a simple majority of the quorum present is required to pass an order or decree. Whereas the Board of Commissioners finds it necessary to clearly state the number of members of the Board of Commissioners necessary to pass an order or decree. Whereas the Board of Commissioners decides to adopt the policy set forth below, now therefore be it resolved by the Commissioners of Twiggs County, Georgia, that 3 members of the Board of Commissioners shall constitute a quorum of said board, and the concurrence of 3 members of the Board of Commissioners shall be necessary to pass any order or decree.
Mr. Chairman, I move that be adopted tonight. If you could hand me that back.
I will, and I apologize. I noticed got to clear up on that. And the whereas clause not in the effect.
All right, got a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion of that? All right.
I wonder about this.
Pass me some of those checks, please.
We don't always have 5 members here. And if that occurs, then we have 2-2 vote, and it's dead anyway. Or if we have 5 here, and it's 2 and 2, and there are no vote, or present, what happens? Why do you think this is necessary? Is it because of the meeting last year where there was a 2-1 vote?
I think that brought it to a head. I don't think that if that were litigated, heaven forbid it be, but I just cannot imagine 2 speaking for an entire board. And this requires that 3 do it. Yeah, that's probably, in my opinion, yeah, that brought it to a head, yes.
That's what I thought. So, why is 3 these 0 point? Why not 4? Why not 5? Why not 6?
Majority. As the same thing, it requires a quorum. If it doesn't require 3 for a quorum, why should less than 3 be able to take action?
If only 3 is here, and
Then it's a dead issue, like so many issues come across the table.
then there can be a wasted meeting.
Well, you know, a lot of them are wasted anyway with all 5 of us here. But that's the common way to do it, and any rule of order constitutes that. So I've never seen a rule of order that constitutes anything less than that majority. And 6 and 7, see, that's just because we only have 5. 4 members of the board with the chairman.
We have had
3 constitutes majority, so that's the way it's
We have had only 3 members on the board here, as I can recall, all the years I've been sitting around this table. And that was my first time that this board have ever voted like that with 3 members present, 2-1. And that was their rule, but that's my first time ever. When we would have 3 commissioners here, 2 vote one way, another vote one way, it wasn't passed. It wasn't passed. So it was what was the reason why it come out that way all of a sudden? What brought that? What issue brought that up? I believe it was brought up because saying what that out here. Hear your stage. I think it was brought up by hear your stage. That means they rushed to
No,
judgment.
sir, that's not true. I'm the one that made the motion, and it's because we were running down to the wire and trying to get that project in here.
You know.
And I thought we needed to go ahead and move
But
on.
see, then when we did get the project December 3rd, we had a call meeting, but them 3 show up.
Let me just say this.
Just gonna go.
As, yeah, well, let me just say this, since it seems to be, Healy Sage deadlines were made and said, I know of 4 of them. One time, if we don't get it done by August, they are out of here. See, they didn't go anywhere. We just settled it a couple of weeks ago. I'm just saying this, everybody really know what the rules are. This backdooring kind of thing is really, is something we ought to just stop. All it does is cause confusion. Nobody's gonna get away with it. It just isn't gonna happen. Not only do you have state law covered, you have a judge's ruling, a federal judge's ruling. It went from there to the Court of Appeals and won it there. The next step is Supreme Court. And if it has to go to Supreme Court, it most certainly will. So just to waste time over and over something that's a dead issue, really, it's not gonna work that way. It just isn't gonna work that way. So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we call the vote and shut down the discussion. We'll be all day.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify something that was implied down the table there, that this was very innocent, and there was no plan for that. I was at that meeting. There were 4 people here. We went through the normal business. I asked, is there any more business? No, everybody's just sitting around. I said, well, gentlemen, I'm leaving. As soon as I walk out the door, y'all sprung the motion. And Mr. Chairman, Mr. Floyd voted for it. Mr. Bryant did not, but y'all waited until I left before you sprung the question. That's a fact. The records will show it.
All right, how you vote? Yes.
Yes, to end the discussion, or to do whatever we were doing.
What do you call the question on?
To approve.
On the motion.
To approve the motion.
Okay.
Approve the motion, I mean, you know.
You got 3?
Yeah, all right.
Well, 3 of the majority, and I'm gonna vote yes for it too. How about you, Mr. Floyd?
No,
Well, it passed. Okay.
And that is a resolution, not a motion.
Yeah. Put the motion on.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. We got on here about, what did you say, the business?
Did Mr. Floyd want to name a road?
Yeah, we got that, and we got Mr. Al Dupree's application on this thing. Let's take care of that before we go back down. What was you, about the budget, Mr. Paul?
We are set up on what is known throughout the state. The county commission is on an annual budget. That is from January to December 31st.
Yeah.
My proposal is that we get with the accountant and we start operating this year based on that. School board is on what they call it, physical operation, June 30th to around the year in July. But it's a rule and it's what we're supposed to do. And what that does is that funds collected for a tax year are used for that tax year. And therefore, it's very easy for everybody to understand where we are. It's very important that the citizens understand the financial condition of the county and have a good idea of what we're doing. If we are spending monies that were collected and set aside for the next year, you're spending them in this year, it throws the whole notion off. It makes the figures look like something they are not. And the budget should reflect where you are. And the only way to do that is that those funds that are collected for that year are expended in that year. So that's the purpose of doing that. So our county is doing some work now on our finances, and my motion is to ask that group to go ahead and give us an idea of the framework of that way, so we have something to look at. And on the first Tuesday in next month, March, it's 2 weeks from now, that we go ahead and adopt that system and put it into place in 2015. And we get about doing it that way. Because it's heck on a bookkeeper to do it the way we're doing it. And it really has no reflection on what your condition is. It just brings out to the public and to everybody else what the financial situation of the county is. And you need that. The piecemeal like we're doing is just not the way to do things. That's the purpose of having her to
ask the
county
accounting firm to give us some sort of recommendation, correct?
No. Give us, since she's handling the county work, to rearrange her figures to reflect an annual budget and let us look at it.
That's what I'm talking, some
yes.
sort of recommendation on that.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Yes,
Go
yes.
along with that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody understand the motion?
No, I really don't, not yet.
Okay, let me lay it out for you. Mr. Brown, you took down the blackboard, didn't you?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I did. Who took it down? They made a mistake. If I took it down, I would took it out of here.
That's, I know. All right, let me put it this way. All right, let me put it this way. We are operating, this is the year 2015. All right, we've drawn a 2015 budget. And we're operating on that. But now, last year, a few months ago, September 15th was the notice that people get what to pay your taxes. You're paying your tax for the year 2015. But you actually, we received that money, Mr. Neesmith here 30 days, 6 weeks, or we run over there and grab it out of his account, put it over here, and we're spending it. All right. But those funds aren't to be touched until January 1st. See? So those funds we draw, set them up for January 1st. All right, then the first thing you're going to say, well, since you're bringing in spending, what are you going to do? The same thing you've been doing. You're going to borrow to get you through that certain day. You're going to borrow on the first end or the last end. You're going to get it somewhere because we don't bring in enough money to operate. So, but when you look at the books, it appears that you're in a better financial condition than what you really are. That's a viewpoint. Well, the thing is that the state law requires us to do it the way I'm talking about. Those monies are to be started spent January 1st. And that's what I'm speaking of. But we'll pull them as soon as they come in.
All right, any more
So
discussion?
that
I
explains-
believe, unless I'm wrong, that the levy occurs on January 1. The bills to support that levy don't go out until the fall sometime, the time frame you're talking about. And so I know historically it has been exactly like you're trying to make sure that it is set up, like taxes collected this year is for next year's operation.
That's right.
And I remember we did that one time. We finally got the county out of debt, and then the new group in less than a year had them right back in debt.
That's right. And giving the impression that the county's in
Yeah.
good shape. But doing that, it gives it distorts the picture. And when you do a thing like that, you know, it just is, it's a game, that's all. And you shouldn't do that. In your private business, handle your business any way you want to. But the state regulates how we do this, and we should do it. In other words, it's two sets of books. That's what it is.
You're giving a false impression.
Exactly.
Well, the whole invoice is, you know, there's all kinds of games that go on, but I think we need to consider what Mr. Bryant said.
I do too.
I need to think about it a little bit.
How you vote?
Sal, before you do vote, the one thing I guess I'm concerned about, not about what you're doing, but property. There are notice requirements, obviously, for the budget. Now, we've just got it set up to advertise the 215 budget. I only toss this out while the five of you probably have a good idea. Getting this implemented is we've got to abide by notice, publication, etc. I just want you to keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, our notification is up to par, because we make that claim in our notices. We just aren't living up to it.
I think what I'm talking about, I know, for example, for our budget for this past year, we are finally getting it published, I believe Mr. Mercer here shortly. So we've got to, but before we make a change,
Okay.
All we ask them now is just counter term, give us a recommendation.
okay, all right, I just want to make sure that I didn't leave the default impression that we were going to be able to do that. We've got to,
No,
great idea, but we got to do it right.
This motion is to ask the accountant to give us a recommendation.
Well,
That's
give
how
it-
we
Do
might-
I understand that right?
Yep.
it's this. What we asking the accountant to do is to rearrange her figures to reflect a 12-month budget year starting January 1st. And give us the figures. the recommendation, that isn't what I'm asking for. I want her to rearrange the numbers, and when they come back here with the numbers, then we can go from there, because your bank will have to agree with what you're doing. You know, because we're dependent upon that for finance. All I'm asking for is from her to arrange those figures and give us a copy of it. She already has them. She'll know exactly what I'm speaking of.
All right, any more discussion? How you vote?
I
Yes.
don't see how she can rearrange the budget. We have to be audited from year to year based on the fact of whether or not we're in a calendar year or a fiscal year. And I don't think we can start adjusting those figures and reflect something different than what it actually has to be by law.
Well, by law, you're not by law, but you're not operating on an annual budget. You're not by law now. And what we're trying to do is get within the law. You're not doing it now. And we're not asking her to falsify numbers, but I'm asking her to do this. And really, it's on the income level. Is calculate for this board the total income. We'll match it with that and arrange that those monies will be handled in that fashion. Now, what it only means is this, in this case, is that you're spending money that you're not supposed to put your hands on until that year, because they're designated for that year. All right? It means that, and that's why your banker's going to have to agree with it, sign off on it also. It means that in 1 year, you're going to have to correct it. That 1 year, you're going to need to borrow enough money to carry you through the end of the year, which you're going to do anyway after the third month in the next year, because after 3 months in the next year, which you're saying you're fully funded, you're going to be short anyway. So we're talking about a 6-month shift in the borrowing funds, which is not going to cost you any more money unless the rates go up, which is going to catch you anyway. That's all I'm saying. And what we've been doing and what was done here after 2000, when it started the first year. It started the first year of this kind of operation. And what it is, you're not within the law because it's not an annual budget. It's not a physical budget. Your income has to coincide with your expenditure within a certain frame of time. And that is not happening. Everybody knows it. I don't know what the discussion is about.
Let's put it in front of us.
Yeah, I'm going to run the figures and we get with the banker. And they are fully aware of what I'm talking about because I made it plain to them this morning and 2 weeks ago. I've been all over. We got to correct this. You just can't keep going with these games. They don't work.
All right, how you vote? Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna vote no, because I don't think we can work that out. I think what we would have to do is change from a
All we
calendar
ask
year.
them to do right now is let her see we can work this out.
They know more about.
Just for the record, I think
They know
this
more about
year,
taxes and all this
except
stuff.
for his time.
See, here's the game. Here's the game, people. Here's the game. Here's the game. And Mr. Bryant, I'm going to ask you to put up my blackboard. You took it down.
I didn't.
Here's the game. Wait, let me show you the game. Let me show you the game. This is what it is. This is the whole thing. And in fact, it was in play. The law says that you give the taxpayer 60 days before the deadline to pay his taxes. Count from January 1st and go back to October 20th. All right? A few years, somewhere around 2009 or 10, your notice came out that you had to pay it by September 15th. They're stepping up the time by which you pay that money because we needed to grab it as soon as it came in. And then claiming you're on a calendar year. You're not. In other words, let me put it simply. Say if you were working a job and you get paid every Friday. All right? So you go in on Wednesday and say, boss, look here. I'm running short this week, and I want 2 days of pay now. And next week, you pull the same game. Then you go on a while, and then in 2 days put you asking for it on Wednesday. You come up on Tuesday, say, boss, you know I'm still in this bind. Said, you just give me 3 days this week. See what I'm talking about? You're going to get the boss in the hole for a week you keep that mess up. This is what's happening, and it needs to stop. It's just a big old tail. Most times, it's called running 2 sets of books, or check kiting, and all this kind of craziness. You can do that handling your own personal business, because William Bond don't care. But when you're handling public business, that's why the rule is set up. You operate on an annual year.